Why is it doing this?
Well, I think I have the old thingies. I only see one moving car.
Okay, it looks like we're live now properly. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Grand Prestige League. We are here returning for round 2 of the WEC class, the top class of Super Formula Racing. Tater couldn't be here with us today, but we do have Arturo filling in for him. And so while I grab the link for the live stream and give it to our Instagram at Grand Prestige League, go give that a follow. He's going to take it away with a little bit of information for you guys.
Yep, today, Dragonsville Seaside in Croatia. It's a fictional track. It's 5.2 kilometers and 3.2 miles for the Americans. It's a mostly high-speed racetrack, a lot of mechanical grip needed. It's a 17 corner turns track with a lot of overtaking possibilities and a lot of exciting battles upcoming, I'm presuming at least. So, the track's a bit of a triangular shape. It's very, yeah. Okay, so you have a lot of steep turns, also a lot of elevation changes going into the top part of the track and going down again. You're going down the mountain basically. Today we have a few stops filling in as well. For high caliber McLaren, we have, for example, Jay Schultze, who's making his WEC debut. And for Foxhound, we have Jedi filling in. And let's see, we have Dennis filling in for Mugen, who we have not seen yet race this season. And I see Ghosted is returned to race for BMW. He missed round 1, sadly, and he's back for more, so he's gonna race today with his teammate Ducky Dono, who did pretty well last race, and hoping to continue that form, of course.
Yeah, Ducky Dono, a bit of a super sub in the WEC class this season and last season as well. He has a lot of experience in the top class and a really good showing last week in SWT as well, getting a podium.
Indeed. He was a rapid driver in Monza.
Absolutely.
But let's see
what
he can do this race.
So shout out to Whiteout, our reigning champion of the top class from last season, and he is giving his prediction on Alex's chances of making it out of turn 1 alive. And it looks like we're qualifying already, I believe. Looks like we got a few people battling here, Flaring Aces and Whiplash, battling for track position on the outlap.
That's interesting, is it?
Yeah, it's always good. You really want to have track position on the outlap, and since no one is actually setting a time on their outlap, it's fair game to go ahead and battle for track position there.
Yep.
You don't want to be in dirty air, though, if you end up losing out on that battle. Like, we have Whiplash here, who looks like he's in prime position to either get a benefit from the tow or to be stuck in Ghosted's dirty air for the whole lap. We'll see if it works out
he's using
for
his overtake well on outlap, so I'm not sure he's trying to deal with that.
Yeah, so in testing I did notice that there is, and that'll cost him for sure already, a bit of contact there. Couldn't be having contact in quali. But I have noticed you can do about 2 consecutive push laps worth of overtake. So you can use some of it on your outlap, but then you wouldn't be able to do that second push lap in a row if you do that.
Interesting. We don't see that a lot with the overtake usage around some tracks that you can only do 1 push lap. Yeah.
Yeah, so here you can do 2, but it is exactly enough for 2. So you basically can't use any on the outlap if you plan on doing 2 in a row.
All right. It's an interesting, well, how do I say? Let's see. You see Nico going across the line for the first lap on the board. It's a 17.3. That's a rapid one.
Yeah, that's a good time to open up with. Really setting the bar for everyone else. And we got a couple more times coming in a 17.9 and 18.5, a 20.3, 18.0 for Yuki, just about into the 17s, 19.4 for Jay Schulze on his very first laps in WEC. Ooh, and a 17.4, less than a tenth away from Illusion. And we figured that it's probably going to be a battle for pole position between Nuco and Illusion, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I agree. As we see Illusion going slightly wide on the second lap. He's very pushing on this lap, is he? It's very small margins here on this track.
Yeah, and so there are a couple other drivers that could be up there fighting for pole position. We got Whiplash and Alex, who are always capable of setting a lightning fast lap time. But then again, when it comes to just the overall package, Illusion and Nuco showed that they were the class of the field last round out. And I pretty much expect that to be a similar story this round between these two drivers. We have a very storied history of racing against each other in this league.
Yep, indeed. It's been a long rivalry, I have to say.
Yeah, both of which drivers champions in their own right.
Yeah. I'm curious to see about the rest, to be honest. If P3 is having to say, as we have Ghosted right now in P3. It's also done a very solid lap at the moment.
Yeah, Ghosted, a very capable driver of really good pace overall. Last time out that we saw him, I would say that the only thing holding him back from a top result might be consistency or when to push, when not to push type thing. But very capable driver nonetheless. Same goes for Alex, very similar situation for Alex, the German driver. I believe Greek-German, right?
I thought Ukrainian.
Oh,
That's King.
I know that King is the Greek-German.
Yeah. Let's see. Got a lot of drive on the push lap now.
Yes, we got Illusion on an out lap, so I won't watch that. Let's see who we got on a push lap here. We got Jedi about to cross the line. Another SWT driver filling in. Yeah, so white out clarifying, Ukrainian indeed. Confirming in his own way. We do have an actual Greek driver on the grid, though, who's also filling in as a reserve for Team Mugen. And he is a familiar face from past seasons, making his return here to fill in for the top class. A very capable driver as well.
I forgot about it. He was racing in SWT a few seasons ago, was he?
That sounds right to me. I know the Full Throttle team had a bunch of drivers there a couple seasons ago.
Indeed. I remember racing him then. It is the correct driver at least.
I'm on board, rounding the final lap here with Nuco. Just as he approaches the back of Jay Schulze's car.
As Whiplash goes faster with a 17.1.
Oh, wow, that's quite a lap.
That's a rapid one.
By 2/10 as well as Nuco back into the pits for an out lap. Let's go on board here with Illusion as he's about halfway through his lap.
A little snap of oversteer going on the exit curb of turn 3. Cost him a little bit of time, I think. Yeah, 1/10.
Yeah, and he is on a push, but it looks like he has enough overtake to do 2 in a row if he made a mistake this one. So, also, he will have less fuel weight if he does the second one. So I think a lot of these guys are going to opt to do 2 consecutive push laps, because that second push lap is going to be even faster on paper with the fuel weight savings. Oh, and very slidey there on the exit.
Ooh. A bit wiggly indeed.
Yeah, and that's a corner we're going to watch for in the race too. I think there's going to be a lot of opportunities for drivers there, as it's a really wide exit, and a lot of people slip there and spin out, getting a little too eager, getting back on the throttle. And as he rounds the last corner, we're going to see where he ends up lap time wise.
It's not an improvement, but it's only I would say a cool down lap. And
as we got out lap traffic in front of him now, that's not good for his lap, because it did seem to me like he was kind of setting up for the second lap, but now he's off the overtake, so I think he's probably setting up another prep lap. Because I know drivers like Illusion really like to keep his fuel as absolutely minimum as possible when he does his push lap.
It's understandable. The less weight you have, the faster you can go.
Absolutely, and if you look at these margins, it's less than a tenth above and below him. Only 0.02 of a second in either direction, so those every little hundredth of a second matters when you're racing against these guys.
Yeah, it's a very small one between 2, 3, and 4. It's all within a tenth, I believe so.
Oh, and yeah.
That's quite interesting.
Up there too.
Yeah.
It seemed like Boita might have been struggling a little in practice, so it's really good to see that Boita is getting it all together and figured out. Probably just finding the limits and pushing a little over the limits in practice.
Yeah, it's always good to find the exact limits where you can gain or lose time. It's how you get faster in.
Exactly. Sometimes the best way to find the limit is to go a little bit over the limit.
Yeah, but not crash out in doing so.
Yeah.
Which might happen sometimes.
Oh,
as you can see, Illusion going purple.
Yeah, he was pushing a lot there. Yeah, so shout out to King.
Roller coaster.
We got King in the chat as well, asking where Rekus is. Rekus is not available, so we have Artura here in the old virtual commentary booth alongside me.
Yep.
Oh, Boita
still
P2.
Going purple. Oh.
What an impressive lap by Boita. And Boita is always going to be a dark horse in these races, and he's earned a moniker with Rekus and I throughout the whole GT500 series, and even before that. He's always been really good with his tires. He's known as GPL's certified tire whisperer.
Oh, as Illusion goes P2, that's
an Illusion.
7 thousandths or tenths now off P1.
On Whiplash, just extending his provisional pole position there. Is that session over? It does seem session over. We got Boita rounding the final corner.
And why Nuko not improving? He stings P5.
Oh, wow. That's actually huge. Because despite it being very overtakeable on this track position is very important. You can overtake pretty easily, but similar to Monza, it's hard to close that gap because of the dirty air. It just keeps you from closing in, especially in those S's in Sector 2. Yeah, that's going to hurt Nuko.
It's a difficult one if you're starting a bit further back than you like, especially when you're fighting for a win.
Yeah, especially with a turn 1 like this, where you can make up decent positions off of turn 1, but if you don't, turn 1 really acts like a bottleneck. So on lap 1, the people who make it through first are going to just take off.
Yeah. And I see Alex in P4 now. Almost within a tenth of Boita in P3. That's a good lap from him too.
Absolutely, and that's a second row start for Alex, and so everyone's going to want to be careful. But shout out to Alex, that's an excellent lap. Only a tenth off of his teammate. And so congratulations to Whiplash.
Porsche second row.
Oh yeah, a Porsche lockout on the second row. So we got a mixed grid elsewhere. Illusion just missed out by 1/10, But here is your starting grid. We have Whiplash, Illusion, Boita, Alex, Nuko, Ghosted, Jedi, Yuki down there in P8. On the next page, we got Flaring Aces, Ducky Dono, Dennis, and Jay Schulte. And JD Killswitch was supposed to be here as well. I thought that he would be able to make it in time. He had a power outage. And it seemed like he might or might not just barely make it back in time. So if he is able to join the grid, he would be starting in last place if he's able to join in time.
I would say 1 minute is not going to cut it.
Yeah, probably not at this point if he hasn't made it in already. So reminder to all the drivers listening, make sure you are on the tire of choice that you wanted. It looks like an apology or something happening from Alex to Jay Schulte. Maybe an impeding happened there.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate for Jay. His lap time. He's down into P12 with a rapid lap time so far.
Yeah, any lap time is going to be better than no lap time, as both of High Caliber's main drivers are out of this race, and so we got Jay Schulte, and it was supposed to be JD Killswitch as well to salvage as many points as possible in their absence. So there's not going to be a huge expectation on the High Caliber drivers for this race filling in, as it is their debut in the top class. Thought I'd point that out as well, but nonetheless, it's very exciting to see everyone on track. Do you have any predictions for how you think this race is going to go?
Not really, actually. It's basically an open book. Everyone can, from top 5 downwards, can have a shot at the podium at least, and top 5 will absolutely battle it for the win. I think so.
Absolutely. I'd have to agree. It's going to be tight. I think Nuko's bound to make up some ground based on where he's starting, but also this is going to come down largely to strategy, I believe. And if it's a strategy race, I have to give the edge to Illusion because he has the pace combo along with the strategy. And I worked on the strategy with Illusion for this race for him, so I'm confident in that strategy. And I don't know what everyone else is doing. Oh, yeah, it has to be good in that case. It's going to be the best strat out there for sure. But these drivers are giving the ready indicators. And so this race is going to start here any moment, and we will have you take it away for the race start. We get
all right. It's going to be an exciting one.
Absolutely. I'm very curious what tires everyone is going to start on, because that's going to be a big indicator as to what strategy they're going to do.
Indeed. There's going to be, I think, a few long runs and a few short ones to get track position as early as possible to make sure you have the edge over some other people.
Yeah, and so 48 laps here. Do you think we can see a one-stop potentially?
No, I think it will be possible because the tire deck is very high at this track, as there are 5 red lights. And away we go. Whiplash and Illusion have a very good start of the line. I see Whiplash using a bit of overtake, actually.
Oh, really?
Off the line. Yes.
Okay, well, that's
Illusion follows him into turn 1. Ooh, they make a cleanly at the moment. And up and down the field, they're going all through it well. So no collision so far.
A bunch of positions.
Oh. Schulte is down way back. I think he had a bad start of the line. And Alex in P8.
Oh, okay. I got my eyes on Nuko here as he is under a ton of pressure from Ghosted, but then Ghosted gets a heap of that dirty air through the S's, as expected.
Indeed. I see Yuki's going down the inside, it looks like. He does make it. He does make it.
Yeah, what a move that was.
Absolutely.
And now that leaves the door open for Jedi as well, who's getting opportunistic here. But Opting to tuck right into Ghosted's slipstream for the death chicane there. Probably a wise move.
Oh.
And he grazes the wall.
It's no damage from him, luckily for him.
Yeah, very lucky not to get damage. Otherwise, he would have to pit, as we do have heavy damage on. But that gives an opportunity
down
for
the inside.
Alex. Okay, this is wheel to wheel between Pixel and Ghosted right now, so we're going to keep an eye on this.
You should have the dar advantage.
Our P1, P2 holding steady up there at the top. Okay, yeah, oh, it's 3 wide going into turn 1 now, as Yuki does have the better line going in.
It's an absolute move.
Oh, and Alex comes in, picks up the pieces. Alex taking P6 off of Ghosted on the exit there. Now they're going to fight back.
Good move from him, I have to say.
So just checking on P1, P2 real quick, and it looks like a pretty decent gap opening up here. About 1 second between the top 2, and 2 between him and Nuko and P3.
Ghost going a bit wide.
Okay, now Ghosted dropping down the order all the way down to P9 now.
I think the medium tie is not working out for him.
And his teammate now, Ducky Dono, side by side, but Ducky lets him go right by, doesn't battle his own teammate too much. Probably wise decision there.
Indeed. It's a lot of battling up and down the field, I have to say.
Yeah, very entertaining
we love to see
stuff.
it.
And we got Yuki looking, he made a look to the inside on Boita, but decided he was too far back to dive bomb it. Probably smart.
As he's going around down the outside now, going the inside in the first time and then outside in the next one.
He's gonna have a
Can he make it stick? Yes, he can. He's going a bit wide into the third turn, but he makes it work. Good move from him. And Boyd on the mediums is struggling a slightly bit to keep up with Yuki, I think so. Just now on attack from Alex as well.
Battle. Alex and Boita, the teammates, are battling each other, and we saw in the first round that despite being teammates, these guys don't tend to play nice with each other. They got into a little contact in Monza, and then Alex actually reported his own teammate
he's going
Boita.
down the inside.
What a move that was.
Yeah.
And there is a tire difference between the two teammates here. Yeah, so Alex on the softs. Yep.
And Boyd on the mediums. I think if Boyd can hold behind Alex, he has a good shot to keep on the back, on the front group, to open up something here. As we can see a few gaps starting to form from the top group, the top 2, breaking
Ducky
away
and Dennis.
from top 3.
Yeah, Ducky and Dennis having a little battle here into turn 1. And, Dennis with the slipstream, but not a great position for the move and doesn't make a move. Looking elsewhere now. Yeah, now it looks like the field is starting to spread out a little bit. Checking in on P1 is still Whiplash, holding the lead and managing it very well. 1.1 second gap to Illusion. They're on the same tire, both on softs.
And Nuke on the mediums in P3. He's doing a very stellar job at the moment. I think if he can keep P3, he could get a good advantage if he goes to the softer tire later on in the race.
And Yuki in P4. So, Yuki with an excellent start as he started the grid on P8, and now he's up to P4 in just a few laps time. And it wasn't like he got super lucky or anything. Like, he had to battle for those positions, and he made it up on his own. So a very impressive start there for Yuki in the EXO AMR car.
Indeed. As we see, let's see. There's a lot of big gaps in the back part of the group, with Ghost down in PA for the 1 second gap to the Jedi in front.
Yeah, see, that's a bit what I was talking about during quali. He has excellent pace, as you saw in quali, as he was able to put himself really high up in the order, but just little mistakes, inconsistencies, and now he's dropped way down here. we'll see if his race pace is decent enough to pull him back up the order.
Yeah, indeed. As we can see, Alex breaking away from his teammates too. It's a 2.2 gap at the moment. And Boita getting under pressure from Jedi slightly. He's now 6 tenths behind him and gaining slightly too.
Oh man, Boita getting extremely close to the wall on the exit there. He has a lot of trust in that Porsche car.
Indeed. I see a little bell forming up in 3, 4, and 5 with Alex, Nuko, and Yuki.
Yeah, Yuki actually getting closer to Nuko here with his soft tire.
He gained around 2/10, I believe so, on this lap. So it's an impressive pace, to be honest.
Yeah, so there's a couple of options for Yuki here at this stage in the race. If he gets ahead of Nuko, he can try to continue to pull the gap as much as he can, or he could try to hold up Nuko as much as he can. Holding up Nuko would benefit Illusion ahead, but it might cost himself a little bit of pace in his own race. So that's a trade-off he might consider. I'm assuming because of the tire difference, he'd probably just go on, try to build as big of a gap as he can.
Yep, indeed. That would be the best option for him, to increase the gap from behind to make the soft tires worth the while, and then box for a new set. As you can see him going slightly closer to the wall.
Yeah. Now
really mounting the pressure.
Yeah, keeping Nuko honest here. It's putting pressure on a driver like that can force them into making mistakes or pushing their braking points a little too far and just doing little uncharacteristic things. But Nuko, he has nerves of steel. I don't think he's going to be bothered by pressure too much.
No, as we see, Yuki has a little look down the inside, but decides not to make it as he's too far back to really make an overtake.
Probably just showing Nuko, hey, I'm here, you got to worry about me, got to worry about protecting the inside now. Potentially forcing him into alternate lines that could benefit Yuki on the exit. But this is the part where Yuki is going to get all the detriment of the dirty air, is these big S's.
Yeah, that's going to hurt his tires a lot. And it looks like he's really close. Is he going to make the move? No, he's not. He had a little look, but decides to not do it yet.
Hey, I see Kekwed in the chat. Shout out to Kekwed. It's been a long time since we've seen him around here at GPL. He is the champion in SWT for XO Rapid a couple seasons ago.
Indeed. That's a long time ago.
Yeah, absolutely. It seems like yesterday, but it's a long time ago at this point.
Indeed.
And we got also William Boita in the chat too. Didn't want to leave him unnoticed. Shout out to William Boita, the brother of Nicholas Boita on track. The two Brazilians who both used to drive here, both very fast. Yeah, and as you can see the gap between Yuki and Nuko, it's so hard to close that gap. Unless you're in a position to make a move, if you're still following that driver by the time you get to these S's that they're about to go into again, it's so hard to close that gap because this is where the dirty air is the most effective.
Yep, indeed. I think Er's gonna feel it too behind Yuki, as his tires are slightly better than Yuki's tire. So he might be in a little bit of trouble, pushing too hard maybe.
Now would you look at that, we got the whole gang in the chat too. We got Hop House here too. Hop House, who was also a co-commentator with me for a little bit when we just started doing commentary.
Indeed. It's a good reunion, I must say.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we can see if Boita dropping slightly more back from Alex as well, as Ghosted is starting to crawl up some time to Boita. It's now 6 tenths. which was a little bigger gap before. And it looks like he's looking to strike as soon as possible on Boita to get those positions back he lost. As we can
like
see,
Alex is closing up on Yuki now.
Yeah, indeed,
And
I
he's
was
on the
about to say.
overtake.
Yuki
that's gonna
defending
be
too at
interesting.
overtake. Oh, he's going
lines
down the
they
inside.
picked.
Can he do the switchback? He looks it. Oh,
He had
a
the
bit
pace
wobbly
to
in
do
the
the
exit.
switchback, but there was a car in the way, unfortunately, and they made a little bit of contact, no damage to either. Oh, and you got to be really careful being that close to the death chicane there. It is called the death chicane for a reason.
Yeah, it looks like he's. Oh, I was a little look at the line side, but did not make the move yet. Good smart choice from him, as he has a run now into turn 1 and 2. He's on the inside, going around the outside now. Good defending from Alex, must say.
Really good moves there from Alex.
As he's going off Yuki.
Luckily, it doesn't look like he lost any time from that. Oh, he's got to be really careful doing that.
Yeah, he got a penalty now.
You never see penalties on this track, so that's super unfortunate. And the gaps are decent, but it's not good enough to afford penalties like that, as that's going to put him right in the clutches of Alex's teammate, Boita, in the other Porsche, who's also got a car right behind him, so this could cost up to 2 positions from that mistake there.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate. He had such a good race start to this race. Oh.
Yeah, it's very lucky indeed, pointing out by Anthony, the team principal of High Caliber, who's also in the chat here, rooting on his team at High Caliber.
Yep. It's very unfortunate both of those drivers could not race today.
Yeah, High Caliber having terrible luck this weekend.
Very unfortunate. As we can see, Yuki showed the penalty is still 1.5 in front of Boita. So he's safe for now, but for how long? Because the soft tires will run out of juice any minute now.
Oh, and there's Rekus in the comments too. Too bad we couldn't have you here today, Rekus, but it's good that you at least can see a bit of the action on track that you're missing out on here. There is Jedi's pace for you, Kekwa, that you can take a look at. The times on the right side of the screen. Looks like a pretty average in the low 20s, but those times are creeping up a bit as his tires are getting worn. We are actually starting to get into the phase of the race now where the soft runners their tires are going to start dropping off now. The pace is going to start falling back a little bit. And it's not necessarily advantage medium per se, but now the pace difference between the two compounds is going to start leveling out.
Indeed, as we can see, Boita is closing up the Yuki. It's now 5/10 the gap. It's very... Yuki peels into the pit lane.
Yep, good choice there from Yuki.
Good choice.
It looks like he's the first to make a pit stop.
And with tires he going on, I resume the mediums to...
Yeah, most likely the mediums. I believe everyone is probably going to have to incorporate at least one set of mediums in this. I would assume everyone has to do at least 2 sets of mediums. Even if you're going to do a one stop, it'll be 2 sets of mediums. And if you're going to do a 2-stop, then it's going to be maybe 1 set of softs. So everyone who is on the softs, this is probably going to be their only stint on the softs. So they got to make the absolute most of it while they're on there.
Indeed, they do. Let's see.
Yeah, Jedi doing a pretty good job.
Oh. Indeed, he does.
Where's Ghost at?
Slowly settling into a rhythm. As you can see, Ghost losing a bit of time to Boita.
Oh, okay.
I think he had a little off on the previous lap.
Okay, so your race leader and P2 are both in the pits. The Foxhound Speed Group pit crew and the EXO pit crew. We'll see whose virtual pit crew is faster. They're the exact same, it turns out. Big shocker there. But as they come out, we'll see what tires they're on. Very interesting as Whiplash actually takes a second set of mediums in a row, completely contradicting what I just said. So thank you very much for that. And Illusion on the medium.
It's a double soft stint for Whiplash.
Yeah, double soft. That's very interesting. I really didn't expect to see 2 sets of soft in today's race.
Indeed. It's an interesting strategy. I think it has to stop at least 2 times more, I reckon. Because those soft tires are going to drop off really bad towards the end.
Yeah, and these gaps are not ideal. While drivers like Illusion and Nuco, they're probably used to being able to, by the time they pit, having built up enough of a gap to not be behind so much traffic. But as we can see here, with only a 13-second time loss in the pits, that still puts Illusion down into P6 after pitting. So what drivers like Whiplash and Illusion are going to hope for is that the drivers in front of them pit before they catch up to them and start costing them time on track.
Yeah, indeed. As we can see, Whiplash closing into Ghosted rapidly. It's already a 7/10 gap at the moment. So he might get caught in a little bit of traffic, which can cost him a good amount of time.
Yeah, so this is a big opportunity for Illusion right now, as Whiplash is now getting stuck behind Ghosted. So he's going to have to make quick work of getting past him. Otherwise, this is just going to become a better and better situation for Illusion.
Oh, very close.
Yeah, does not get ahead or hitting a heap of the dirty air.
It looks like he's going round the outside into the hairpin. He will make quick work of it if he can pull it off.
Goes for the switchback and it's not there.
Can't. No.
A little wobble from Ghost there. Yeah, impressive to save that, to be honest. It looked like it was game over for him.
Yeah, indeed. He's going really defensive too, Ghosted.
Yeah, they're wheel to wheel again.
Into another hairpin.
Another slip from Ghost, and that is going to open it up for Whiplash as he now gets ahead and does make it stick, but with the slipstream, now Ghosted has the advantage leading into turn 1.
It's going around the outside.
Whiplash managing to slip ahead and with a grippy exit as well, stays ahead. So that is good for Whiplash. And
yeah, indeed.
Illusion, I think he made up a little bit of time from that battle, but not so much. And I'm a little surprised that he wasn't on his overtake more. Illusion basically didn't use any of his overtake for that. I figured that would be the perfect time while they're going wheel to wheel. Use your overtake and try to get involved in that battle.
Yeah, indeed.
Maybe,
looks like
he's just running his own race at this point and not too worried about track position, because I'm sure he's aware that Whiplash is probably going to have to take an additional pit stop and do so earlier than him, which will give him track position at some point.
And it looks like Whiplash has used a lot of his overtake already, so that's not great for him. I think he used a lot to get ahead of Ghosted.
Look at provisional P1 at the moment as Alex goes into the pits. We got Nuco in P1 on those mediums, only about halfway worn. And so despite starting P5, he is now P1 with that, starting on the medium strategy.
It's an interesting strategy to begin on the mediums. It's a good one, don't get me wrong. It's just the first few lap paces will be really crucial to not drop that far back so you can close the gap up after the second stop or the first stop.
Yeah, and I think it actually has worked out for him, because based on the gaps I'm looking at here, that was that was borderline. Oh, and another battle behind. Illusion getting past Ghosted. We got two battles simultaneously here.
This is interesting. As Illusion goes down the inside on Ghosted, can he make a stick? It looks
And
like he can.
does, but now he has to make
Squeezing
another
himself
move.
a little bit.
This is going to be dangerous. Into the death chicane they go. 3. Oh my.
Oh. This is something else, man.
That was a super formula centipede through the death chicane there. Illusion making a move on the inside.
Indeed, he makes up that place pretty easily. So as he has to keep going to catch up to Whiplash, who has created a small gap from all the battling.
Yeah, now I believe that if Nuko pits, he would pit back into probably P5 or 6 based on the current gaps.
Yeah, I think that's a correct assumption. So we can see it's a really tight group in from P2 to P5. As Ghostus is a little wobble of the exit, trying to get close to Boita, who has slightly better tires than him, as we expect from him.
And so that battle definitely did, despite costing Whiplash and Illusion a little bit of overall race time, it did benefit Illusion in their head-to-head, as his gap is now closer than it was before they went into the pits, despite the tire difference they have now.
Yep, indeed. I have to say, Nuko is managing his tires pretty well. He's managing that lead with a decent gap towards the back, with very good tire wear, I have to say.
Indeed, and I do want to mention too, because we have mentioned it a few times in the past in other races, that Nuko not known for his prowess in the tire wear department, and that his style is usually pretty hard on the tires and stuff like that. But this season he's been breaking that narrative, because he's actually been one of the better guys on the tires this season in the past 2 races so far. As last round, he did a really long strat in the last round as well, and it worked out in his favor. So he's improved his game as far as tire wear. So very impressive from Nuko there to manage so well.
Indeed. He's slightly losing some time to Whiplash, as Lucian is caught up to Whiplash. He's now 5 tenths behind him and closing still.
We got a little battle here between Jedi and Dennis. It looks like Dennis has gotten ahead of Jedi. Sorry if we missed the actual move. I just didn't want to miss out on if the net race leaders were having a battle too. But I'm keeping an eye on this Jedi and Dennis battle right now. Jedi closing back up. This is a battle for P9 here. Getting a little bit of dirty air through the death chicane. That's a bad place to get understeer, I'll tell you what. But he made it work. Didn't touch any walls. Oh! Oh my God!
Oh, what happened?
We have a DNF now.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Dennis, just as he really made that move stick and was looking like he was going to stay ahead, he disconnected straight into the wall.
I just saw it on the replay.
That was it was interesting.
That was something else.
Yeah.
Oh, Lucian has closed the gap into 3 tenths now. He's really on Whiplash's tail.
Yeah, that's... Always love to see a good disconnect like that. It's not Gran Turismo unless you have a ridiculous bug mid-race or someone disconnects or something like that. So, right on brand.
Yeah, indeed. It ain't called Gran Turismo for a reason.
Exactly. And so, another thing we saw similar to last round, Whiplash using a lot of his overtake early. Whiplash getting low, but Illusion wheel to wheel now.
Oh, that's a good move. Ooh, a little walk on the inside from Whiplash.
Move.
Oh, you love to see it.
That was a beautiful move. making it all the extra impressive that he didn't have to use very much of his overtake to get it done. He's on the medium tire as well. As we could see, it's only been a handful of laps since that pit stop, and Whiplash's tires are starting to get pretty well worn now. A very good effort from Whiplash, though, nonetheless. But now the struggles of attrition are starting to make their way to the forefront, as it is a very, very long race distance that we're doing here today. A full 48 laps is nothing to scoff at.
Yeah, indeed, it's a brutal race distance, and the drivers need to keep their cool. I think in the long run, it's basically like an endurance race, basically.
Yeah, absolutely. There's so much that you can see in front of you as far as battles that occupies your attention, but really you want to keep the whole race distance in mind and take care of your tires, even if it slightly hurts you in the here and now. If it benefits you over the course of the whole distance, it's just what you got to do. As Ghosted goes into the pits to shed those medium tires after 20 laps.
Yeah, it's about time he pitted, man. His tires were absolutely beaten.
And we'll see what he comes out on.
Another set of mediums.
Yeah, another set of mediums indeed. Interesting. And one driver who has still yet to pit on his mediums is Nuko in the lead.
Can he make a one-stop out of it? It's
I believe
interesting.
He can. I mean, it'll be a struggle by the end.
More. Yeah, I think if he can maintain this lead with how things stands now, he could make the one-stop work, because Lucian has to pit again, I presume.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
Whiplash for sure. So the one-stop might be a very outside lane strategy that could work for Nuko,
Yeah.
Continues on another lap.
Yeah, David pointing out that Nuko using the same 2 sets of mediums for both races here, as he is very frugal and he likes to recycle, so he's, getting the most out of those 2 sets of tires. Maybe next round he will return with the same 2 sets again. You never know.
Who knows? Maybe the wets will have a turn.
Yeah, you got to get those in there at some point.
Or else it'll be left
Ferrari
out.
strat.
Yeah.
And so far we're seeing a lot of mixed strategies. Our top 3 drivers on 3 completely different strategies from each other too. So, like I said, the pace is going to be strong between all of them, but it'll ultimately come down to the strategy, I think, with this one.
Yeah, indeed. As I look at Boita, he's still not pitted yet. That's I think he's gonna try the one-stop too.
Yeah, the tire whisperer, I would assume no different than if the tire whisperer himself takes those mediums as long as they could possibly go. And so we're about at half race distance now. So if we're going to see the one-stop, now is about the pit window for the one-stop drivers to start pitting.
Yep, indeed. As I can see, Alex is on the source behind his teammates. I think he will catch up quite rapidly in a few laps' time. But I don't think we'll see an on-track overtake for position.
Indeed, I agree. So just kind of taking a look up and down the field, we got pretty decent gaps, about 2-second gaps, all the way down to Yuki, who has a bit bigger gaps in front and behind of about 6 to 7 seconds.
As we can see, Jedi and Flaring Essence.
Yeah, it's a good thing I was checking paces. We got a battle here. Jedi actually making up positions here on track.
That's a good move.
There's a tire difference.
Stick? Not yet.
Flaring Aces on very heavily worn mediums. Jedi on decently worn softs. But the tire advantage definitely in Jedi's favor at the moment.
Indeed. It looks like Flaring could go for the one-stop too.
Yeah.
It might be an unpopular strategy, but it might work out though.
Yeah, Flaring Ace is matching the
amount.
strat of his Toyota teammate, it looks like. So I believe they'll come into the pits next lap.
Yep, indeed. It was a little wobble from flaring aces on the exit of the hairpin.
Yeah, with tires in those conditions, especially the medium in those conditions, it's going to be hard to hold on in those high traction zones like the exit of that corner just after the downhill. That's extremely risky getting on the throttle.
Yeah. It's unfortunate that opened the door for Jedi to slip past flaring aces. Who's doing a pretty solid job at the moment so far with his old tires. Looks like Illusion is closing the gap slightly on Nuco and increasing the gap behind on Whiplash, whose tires are starting to drop off quite a bit now. This is basically the half of the race done on these sets of tires.
Yeah, so I believe this lap will be the in lap for the Toyota cars.
Yep, Nuco in pit lane.
Oh, there we go. Exactly half race distance. Yeah, I'm assuming since it's exactly half, that's exactly what he's going to do. I'm expecting to see mediums as he comes out here. If he was going to incorporate the soft tire into his strategy, he could have gone a bit less on his medium stint to save himself from that drop-off phase a bit. And indeed, it is the medium tire, but he did build himself up enough of a gap to come out into P3, so that's not as bad as it would have been had he pitted earlier.
As Whiplash is going for another soft tires.
Wow, okay, so it's going to be 3 sets of softs in a row for Whiplash. I was actually going to jokingly say, like, yeah, maybe his strat is to take 3-4 sets of softs the whole time, but I guess he actually might be doing that. So literally completely opposite strats.
Is it taking inspiration from CBD from the last round?
Yeah, it's the old snake strategy.
Yeah. I mean, fair play if you can make it work, though. But It looks like it's not going to make it work at the moment.
Oh, and so here's a big opportunity for Yuki, too, is if Whiplash closes in on Yuki on those mediums, which he probably will, because brand new softs versus worn mediums, and Whiplash is just rapid anyways. This is an opportunity for Yuki to help out Illusion quite a bit if he can cost Whiplash some time here.
Yeah, indeed, it would be very good for Illusion race to at least cover off and maybe an attack from Whiplash.
Yeah, and this is a race for track position either way too at this point, so Yuki would want to defend that position regardless.
Indeed. He might be even battling for the race result position as well, as Whiplash has to make another stop, most likely though. And we'll probably be ending behind Yuki again. So it's going to be an interesting one to see how this will end out.
Yeah, it's an extremely good effort and a really good result so far as it currently stands for Yuki, the Japanese driver in that Exo AMR machine.
Indeed. He's doing a very solid job.
As the Foxhound car of Whiplash gets ever closer and closer, the worst thing would be a mistake at this phase. He's just got to hold position as long as possible, keep him in that dirty air as long as possible. Now would be a decent time to use some of that overtake too, as it looks like Whiplash is almost out of his overtake.
And he goes on the inside.
Ooh, a big drift. He drifts that entire corner, Yuki does. Boy, oh boy.
In Japanese for no reason, man.
Yeah, that was some Tokyo drift in there. As he gives Whiplash the inside.
Yeah, can he make it? No, he cannot. He knows better not to fight that position too hard and ruin his tires for the later part of the race.
Yeah, so unfortunately it didn't cost him too much time, but he also is looking really squirrely as he's having to save a bunch of snaps. And let me tell you guys, if you're unfamiliar with how these cars feel, when a car like this snaps on you, in the exit of a corner, it's extremely difficult to catch it. And he's caught, looks like several in a row now. Very impressive.
If you're not careful with these cars, you might understeer into a corner and oversteer out of the corner.
Absolutely.
Like an old Ferrari.
And so while it is extremely impressive to save these snaps and oversteers and correct them like that, at this stage, though, with this level of competition, you can't afford the littlest slip of the tire. It will cost you massively against this grid.
Yep, indeed. It's a highly competitive grid with, if you're making any mistakes, it will cost you a lot at the end.
Absolutely. I do believe this is the most talented pool of Super Formula drivers on Gran Turismo, period.
Yeah, I agree. I'm looking a bit down to the grid. It's Boita in P6. He's having a little being chased by Ghosted at the moment. Boita having those fresher tires though. I'm sure he will be safe for now. But you never know with Ghosted.
That's for sure. Ghosted knows how to get some pace out of a car when he gets the pace out of it. And so you never know what may transpire, especially as Boita gets so close to the wall on the exit there. He's flirting with disaster.
Yeah. Oh, Yuki's off his full wing damage.
Oh,
I saw something in the background.
Oh,
what happened there?
No, that's the absolute worst case scenario. Yeah, suspension damage on both front tires there and the wing. So yeah, he's gonna have to come to the pit. Is he going to go for the soft or the medium at this point, though? That is a big question. It does look like, so he lost 2 positions from that, but he looks safe behind to losing any more positions as the gap is large enough to where he should pit out in front of Jedi.
Yep. It's smart to swap tires right away, because he might make it to the end of the race if you can look after his tires too.
Okay, so he opts for the medium tire, so he'll definitely be going to the end of the race with those. So, you know, if anything, it actually wasn't the worst timing. You know, the absolute worst timing to get damage is like in the beginning or the middle of your stint. But he seemed like his tires were getting kind of down there anyways. So if you're gonna crash, it's never optimal, but it's one of the best times he could have crashed as far as his pitting intervals.
Yeah. It's a disaster, but not that big of a disaster at this point.
Yeah, because while you would have to pit to save that damage regardless, you don't want to have to take an additional pit stop purely for the sake of damage. And it looks like he got away with one there in that regard.
Yep.
But now he is on cold mediums with a car behind. He should have pace on the car behind, though. As we got Alex
as you can see,
pits.
Alex going to mediums.
So would that be a
looks like
soft medium for Alex? Is that what he's...
Yep. That was a soft medium. With a handful of laps still to go. But he will make it to the end.
So it looks like two teammates at Porsche are on different strategies. That's one of the only intra-team strategy differences that we've seen so far. Most of the teammates on track, it appears like they're doing the same strategy as each other.
Yep, and it looks like we might have missed an overtake from Ghosted on Boita. He is now in P4 and Boita in P5.
Interesting. Yeah, it looks like a decisive gap has already been built before we notice, so maybe a mistake from Boita.
Indeed, it looks like he had a slower lap time in the previous lap. It was 3 seconds slower. That might be an error there.
Yeah, that'll do it. Oh, yellow flag ahead.
Whiplash
is
off
Whiplash.
as well.
Wow.
He has wing damage.
Oh, and did it just reset?
Out.
So that looked a little laggy on my screen. It looked like he was trying to come into the pits and then got like reset outside of the pits. I'm not sure exactly what happened there. If that was just looked weird on my screen.
I think that was lag.
Okay.
I think he went before the pit lane, or else he might have got a 3-second penalty, of course, which would lose him any time. Anyway, a few seconds. And I think he's gonna try to box this lap, or just gonna stay out to make his soft tires work, and then maybe to come back into his.
Yeah, so they're in front wing damage too. That's going to cost him a lot of downforce, and that's going to just take a lot of confidence away, as we can see Ghosted closing in quickly on him
And he
dive bombing
moves on the inside. The good Verstappen move.
Yeah,
into
it was
the chicane. Is it going too wide? Yeah. He missed
okay.
it. Impressive.
Yeah, that was a good move.
As
Our
we
leader
see,
in the pits.
Lucian boxing from P1 to, let's see, another set of mediums. Interesting.
Yeah, so soft, medium strategy for the XO group here. And we got Nuko back in the provisional lead as it stands with really good mediums.
Yep, indeed.
Yeah, I do have to say that was a good move for Ghosted. As he gets really wobbly there, but Boita closing in behind him. But Boita looking to reclaim his position that he lost to Ghosted there. That BMW car.
As you can see, Whiplash lost already 3 positions with that wing damage.
Oh, wow, yeah. So he still is yet to pit and just going to carry the damage for a few more laps, as he's probably saw that this would be a bad interval for him to pit in. He might not have enough laps left if he wanted to pit in for his final set of
switchback
softs.
from Boita though. He's going for it. Side by side to the chicane, but Boita backs out. Is a smart choice. He lives to fight another day.
Yeah, conceding the position to save his own life. A decent decision. But he will have a good run here in the exit, all the way through down the main straight. Andy's on the overtake, so he's going to want to make a move here. This is his best opportunity if he can close in here.
Indeed. Can he go around the outside?
Oh, a bit of contact.
He made it. Did he make it?
They're wheel to wheel here. It was a bit of contact. It looked like
still.
Ghost kind of pushed him over the bumpy part. Oh, and that leaves the door open for Alex.
A little bit of contact made the door for Alex wide open. And
now it's wheel to wheel with Alex.
For that.
Wow, this is incredible racing here.
Indeed.
Oh my goodness. All right, here's another big overtaking opportunity. As we saw last lap, Ghost to get a good overtake here.
He goes down the inside. What a move.
And the switchback, is it
Can
there?
He make it
stick? He gets wobbly.
Oh, a lot of wobbles. Going side by side again.
I think he would have had the traction out to make that move if he not... Oh my god.
This is insane, man.
They began the final part of the death chicane wheel to wheel, and luckily for both of them, Alex managed to just slip ahead through the chicane, super narrowly missing the walls. Had they both gone wheel to wheel through there, one of them surely would have touched one of those 3 walls there. Oh, and now the 2 teammates are wheel to wheel. This isn't stopping anytime soon.
Jeez, man. Holy.
As Alex gets his position off of Boita into turn 1 now. Alex on an absolute tear at the moment.
What is his substance he's on, man?
Oh,
maybe a little beer for the race.
Back. So a very good team result regardless, but not sure if the team harmony is going to have them playing into team orders and holding position. It looks like Boita wants it back.
I think they should play team orders here, man. Or else they all might screw each other race over. Invite Ghost to take their position instead.
Absolutely, yeah. So that was extremely impressive work done there by Alex to see the opportunity of the 2 cars battling ahead of him. Closed in and got 2 moves done in just a couple of corners. Extremely impressive racing by all 3 of these drivers, but especially from Alex making those moves. Now he's up in the podium positions.
Yeah, indeed. It's a good comeback from him. He's dropped a few places at the beginning, but now he's climbing his way back up.
Yeah, is a really wonderful driver in general, but as we always mention, it's those turn one incidents that happen just about every single race that's holding him back from his true potential here, because it's always a recovery drive, and yet he ends up around a podium position regardless. But, maybe he could even fight for a win one of these times if he doesn't have to do a recovery drive.
Yeah.
Oh, as it looks like Boita's starting to fall back into the clutches of Ghosted, who is on his overtake trying to claw that position back as well. Having lost 2, he doesn't want to stand for 2 positions lost. Looking back a tiny bit, we got Yuki in between 2 Foxhound cars. But back to Ghosted as Ghosted flashes to the inside, trying to show Boita a move that wasn't there. Just to let him know that inside will need to be protected soon.
And as we can see, P1 and P2 is the gap 3.7 seconds. It's already closing down too.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so advantage illusion. And assuming that Nuko is on the 1 stop, which he almost surely is, then Illusion will have to take the position on track in order to win this race. But with the current pace differences, it looks like he is in a good position to do so, as his medium tire is going to be much newer than Nuko's.
Indeed. It's going to be an interesting battle for the last couple of rounds in P1 and 2, and for P4 and 5 as well.
Yeah, and so last round at Monza, it was Nuko with the victory, Illusion with P2. So if that ends up happening again, but in reverse, Illusion with the win, Nuko in P2, we're on for an extremely tight Drivers' Championship battle through this season.
Indeed, as Whiplash is pitted for a new set of soft tires and repairing his broken wing.
Okay, and that promotes Yuki, Jedi, and Flaring Aces up to an additional position for them. So P6 now for Yuki. With an 18-second gap to Ghosted. Not sure he'll be able to claw that back, barring a massive crash from Ghosted. So, yeah, he's going to have to hope for some bad luck for the drivers ahead as Yuki. Otherwise, P6 looks like his position.
I must say it's a pretty decent play for him to get back to after the incident early on in the race, where he got a lot of damage on his car. As we see that Boita is slowly increasing the gap from Ghosted, is now 1.2 seconds behind. So I think it's gonna be
Nuko has 25% overtake.
25. Good to know. I think Illusion has to push a little bit more to get a bit closer to the end of the race and make the move, because at this point he's still a little bit too far back to be a threat at the moment. See steady gaps forming between Boita and Ghosted again, and Alex sailing away in P3 at the moment.
Oh yes, indeed, starting to build up a bit of a gap there to his teammate. And Boita, once again, his natural habitat of P4. It's pretty incredible if over the course of multiple seasons with different drivers going in and out of the grid, that Boita still finds himself in P4 very consistently.
Yeah, indeed. Is this some like a curse to Boita or something?
It might just be.
He may have the title of Tire Whisperer, but the curse of the P4.
Yeah. P4,
Which is still a decent position, but
his tire whispering did net him one of the most spectacular victories I have seen in a long time in the GT500 series here for GPL that we did in the off season. That was very
Wasn't
nice.
it in Watkins Glen by any chance?
That sounds familiar. I think it might have been, yeah.
Because that
I'm
track
not
was really
positive, though.
brutal on the tires.
That would make sense. Tire whisperer on a track with particularly hard on the tires would be a good shout for him.
Indeed.
As this gap to P1 is coming down ever slightly, ever steadily, as the gap is now down to 2.3 seconds to the lead, and he can see him now. As I've mentioned last time out, when you can see the driver ahead of you that you're chasing, it opens up a whole new level of motivation.
Yeah, indeed. A little more motivation to push that little bit extra to really hunt the person down.
Yeah, activates the killer instinct, especially in a driver like Illusion. I already know that he's super locked in right now, as he's using just little bits of overtake to close that even quicker gap, already now under 2 seconds since we last brought it up.
Yeah, indeed. It's coming down ever so slightly. This is gonna be an interesting one. I think the striking distance will be around lap 45, maybe a bit of a stretch still, but it's going, but not yet.
Yeah, and so we're actually in a very similar situation to Monza last round, where Nuko had the longer strategy. He ended up a track position towards the end of the race, with Illusion having pace in P2, closing that gap slowly, but he just ran out of laps before he could close all the way in. But this might be a different situation this time out, as there's still 8 laps left to go, and a little less than 2 seconds of a gap, so it's looking a lot better for Illusion this time around in a similar situation.
Yes, indeed. It was really close the previous race too, yeah, indeed.
Yeah, and what an unfortunate result it's probably going to be for Whiplash too, as he started this race from pole position, leading the first entire stint of racing, and now he is down in P7. Unfortunately for him, just, damage, probably an suboptimal strategy as well, playing big factors into that result.
Yeah, indeed. I think if FH can work out the strategy issues, they can be rapidly in week in, week out.
Absolutely. And to answer King's question in the comments, yes, Nuko is on a one-stop strategy. Illusion on the two-stop. He did a soft stint at first and then 2 sets of mediums. Nuko just 2 sets of mediums for the whole race. Do you have a prediction as to which one of these drivers you think is going to take the victory today?
I hope Illusion, but my guess will be Nuko, I have to say.
Interesting, okay. I do think
And
Illusion
yours?
will have enough time based on this, the rate this gap is coming down. I'm going to give the edge to Illusion here.
Interesting. I think Nuko will be good in defense to really hold that position as long as he can. He still has a little bit of overtake left, but not as much compared to Illusion, who's slightly more than him at the moment. And that gap's still coming down ever so slightly. It's now 6/10.
Yeah, so Nuko's
And
last 2
decreasing.
laps were 20.4s, and we're seeing what he is. Oh, he's right there now. He is in striking distance, as he can get a little batch of slipstream. Illusion still with more overtake as well. Both of them using their overtake, nullifying each other's usage of it as the slipstream takes effect. I think this is going to be 1 or 2 more laps before he can get this move done. Unless, of course, the dirty air is so bad that it prevents Illusion from closing all the way in, as we're about to approach that dirty air section.
I see Ghosted pitting to swap tires, I think. Oh, it's refueling as well.
Not a good time to be pitting. with the race
He's
distance as it
refueling.
stands.
He's behind
Damn,
Yuki
how
now.
did he run out of fuel? As you can see,
He must be pushing it
these
way
two
too
top
hard.
drivers here, they still have like 15% of their fuel. They're not even flashing red yet.
He was literally flashing. He was literally on life support at this point.
That's nuts. That's actually crazy. He must have been absolutely revving that engine. That engine is being tortured.
As we see Lucian around the outside on Nuko. We can switch back and he makes it stick.
That position for Illusion. Yeah, so around the outside, Nuko did well to protect the inside from a dive bomb, but he cost himself exit speed, which was crucial for getting that position from Illusion there.
Yep. It was a good move from Lucian, who takes P1
what an
from
absolute
Nuko.
Showing. And he's fighting for the lead, but as he's running all the way out of overtake now as Nuko, they're still wheel to wheel. It's still anyone's race at the moment, but if Illusion can hold position here, he has the tire advantage and the overtake advantage. This looks like a victory for Illusion if he can just get out of the clutches of Nuko trying to get that position right back.
Yep, indeed. And if he can keep it clean and neat with no penalties, which cost him, I think, last race, a shot at the win.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, and so Illusion doing a great job anticipating the dive bomb and covering it off on the inside.
Yeah, good defensive work from Illusion at this moment. He's going, I think, a bit defensive.
Extremely. If you look at these super wild lines that he's doing, trying to break the toe on the straights too, just super unconventional lines to throw him off. And it's not working too well as Nuko is right there still, but this is where he's going to lose a bit of pace, and he's out of overtake.
Yeah, Illusion got this one in the back.
Absolutely.
He's still got plenty of overtake to cover off any incoming attacks from Nuko at this point. With a lot of with a better tire advantage as well.
Checking elsewhere on the grid just really quickly to see if there's any close battles. Not close enough. The closest battle on track is for the win, which is what you always want to see. Right at the end of the race too. It was good work from Illusion and good work from Nuko to be in that position at all, especially starting from P5. It was a wonderful race from Nuko.
Indeed. And the second closest battle, I think, is between Yuki and Ghosted. To Yuki in P5
really?
at the moment. Yeah, it's 1.9 seconds the gap to Yuki.
So it's a decent enough gap for now, but maybe in a lap or two by the end of the race, maybe they would close up on each other and give us an exciting photo finish, hopefully. That would be cool.
Interesting, indeed. Okay. Looks like Yuki is at a slight disadvantage compared to his tire choice at the moment, as Ghost is on softs and has slightly more overtake as well.
Oh, he's on brand new softs too, while Yuki on worn mediums.
Indeed.
Yeah. Oh, and Yuki getting a little, touching a little grass. He's going to just need to keep it as tidy as possible to hold off Ghosted for 4 laps with that big of a tire advantage.
I think he can do it. I believe in Yuki.
Absolutely. As do I. He's shown some really resilient driving this race. I mean, he went from that big crash all the way down to, what was it, P7 or 8? Like, he was down there, and now he's back up to P5 again. Probably right around where he should be, but it's hard to fight back into that position once he's had such a big setback.
Yeah.
Checking on our leaders, and it does look like Illusion is stretching this lead out now, so I'll just keep an eye on Yuki for now in the other EXO AMR car.
Good choice.
As we have a charging BMW piloted by Ghosted just behind.
Yeah, it's really pushing the tires to its maximum, Ghosted, to reel in Yuki ever so slightly. The gap is 1 second, and sometimes steadying, sometimes he's decreasing the gap slightly.
Yeah. I'm going to go on
For the
board
corners.
with Ghosted as he tries to hunt down and close in on Yuki to see if he can do that there and just to get his perspective of how this action is unfolding. Yeah, as you can see, he is absolutely revving the heck out of fifth gear there, not even using sixth. But he's effectively turned his gearbox into a 5-speed, which is a pretty common thing that these guys do, oftentimes effectively eliminating their sixth gear out of the ratios. Makes the car a little quicker, but at the same time, as he demonstrated, it burns a lot more fuel as well.
Yep, indeed. And it's cost him 2 box for extra fuel. Or maybe it's just the BMW engine doing its works with the fuel consuming as well.
As he's closing all the way in on Yuki now. Oh, and Yuki's getting squirrely, big drift. This is a dangerous place to have closed in on, though, for both drivers.
Yep. Is he keeping it calm, Ghosted? Yeah,
oh,
he is.
Boy. Yeah, he's gonna... Okay, Ghosted positioning himself very well on the inside now as we got Yuki behind on the back foot.
He's not gonna make it. He's almost out of overtake as well.
Yeah, completely dead on the overtake. Not great tire situation. Oh, but he has a good slipstream and a really good run here. Maybe
this is good.
Ghosted showing him the outside, which will turn into the inside on the second part. Good move from Yuki,
man. Nice one, solid.
What a battle
here we have. Keep this position, it would be awesome.
That would be quite the showing, as we are on the penultimate lap of this race. So it is do or die right now. This is the time to get it done.
Squabbling a lot.
Oh, well covered off there for Yuki.
Going a bit wide.
Yeah, they both took a super wide line as Ghosted tried to stay in the slipstream just before getting a big dose of dirty air. I should give Yuki just a little bit of breathing room. But I'm sure the Ghosted is going to close that gap back in, so Yuki's going to have to do it again.
Yuki again.
Yuki's going to have to do the same thing here just one more time. Cover him off and then stay ahead. And he's going to want to defend the inside this time if it were me. And he is not really defending the inside, leaving the door open for a dive bomb, but Ghosted doesn't really do the dive bomb. Opting to stay in the slipstream. Yeah, he actually was patient there.
Oh, he's
made a smart
pushing
move.
a bit.
Yeah, that's not good. You shouldn't be pushing on a straight. That's naughty.
Yep. And as Yuki is having a little look down the inside, he makes the move.
What a
Can
move
he make it stick?
once again.
Oh,
a double switchback. Hey, that's too much contact. That is way too much contact. Ghosted being very dirty right now. That's dirty. Ooh. That was completely dirty. And now it tries to block Yuki once he gets ahead of him. Yeah, I don't agree with that style of racing there. As he pushes him wide.
He's going side by side into the roller coaster section, I must call it.
I think as long as Yuki stays within, just right behind him at least, he might even...
Oh, no.
Oh, and by the way, victory for Illusion, and P2... P2 for Nuco.
And P3 for Alex. Completely forgot about this.
Yeah. Yeah, there was such an exciting race down here. We almost forgot about the winners. Our podium is now complete. Alex on the podium with Boita just behind. And what an excellent showing for the Porsche team. What a great result there for P3, P4, as the other two top drivers of this race, their teammates are split further down the order. Yeah, so Ghosted
keeps ahead.
Yeah, Ghosted takes P5 on the track, but based on all the contact and the pushing and stuff that was done on the straights even, you got to think there might be a penalty in store for Ghosted, and that might just award Yuki P5 right back.
I would really give it to Yuki. That last lap was not really fair in my opinion. A lot of pushing involved, and then blocking the racing line. A bit of Verstappen shenanigans.
Indeed,
from
but
the
there
Dutchman.
are unbiased stewards that will take a look at the incident, and it will not be us, but there will be a determination, I'm sure, made on the moves that we saw there.
Yep.
And very unfortunate result for Whiplash there in P7.
Oh yeah, yeah, the massive howler thing. Went
But
for
what
the
an
damage.
absolute thriller of a race it was, as here is your
Yeah.
finishing results. Your winner today, Illusion in the XO AMR. P2 is Nuco with the super long strategy once again for Toyota. And finishing out your podium is Alex with Porsche, getting just ahead of his teammate. The rest of the result order goes Boita in P4, Ghosted P5, Yuki P6, Whiplash P7, Jedi filling in at P8. Then we have on the next page the other Toyota Flaring Aces in P9, Ducky Dono also filling in from SWT in the other BMW, P10. And then we got a couple of DNFs due to disconnect in Jay Schulze for the High Caliber and Dennis for the Team Mugen car. What an absolute thriller of a race. Whiplash taking that fastest lap point to boot, so that is one extra point for Whiplash. Goodness gracious.
It was it's an interesting one.
Yeah, that was quite the race. There was good strategy battles, completely different strategies we saw from the top three drivers. We saw battles up and down the grid of various varieties, going three wide into the death chicane, just stuff of legend.
Indeed. Do we have interviews today or?
Oh, we could see if, let me see if Illusion wants to get in here real quick.
Interesting to hear his race analysis from his side.
For sure. And while we wait on him to either show up or not show up into our virtual comms booth for a short interview, I'll just let you guys know, if you're watching this, you enjoyed that race, make sure you like and subscribe this YouTube channel, as we're going to be live here again next week for the SWT class. And make sure you go to our Instagram, like and subscribe that Instagram. We'll get the results from the race up, and you'll have all the information on the upcoming races as well. As Illusion joins us, our winner, take us through how that race went for you.
That was a good feeling, extremely intense, with this different strategy with Nuko. Doing a one stop, and it seems like his tires wouldn't fall off. But I stayed patient and stayed overtake and just waited for my opportunity.
Yeah, I was a bit surprised that when you were in the situation earlier on with Whiplash that you weren't using more of your overtake, but that paid dividends, as you had plenty of overtake at the end to close in on Nuco. And as we pointed out too, there were completely different strategies. You had Nuco ahead on one stop, and you had Whiplash behind going soft.
Yeah.
So do you ultimately think our strat was the best strat?
I'm not sure. I think the tire wear wasn't too high today, so you probably you could have done a one stop. Yeah, but I stick to my two stop. It was difficult to have an overview of all the strats. With Whiplash using softs, and then probably using a lot of overtake in the beginning. I just have to stay patient and I don't know, just wait while everything panned out.
Indeed, and this was
It's a bit difficult to talk because I can hear myself in the background a lot.
Yeah, sorry, that's probably my fault. My mic has just developed this weird issue now.
Okay.
But this is a very similar situation that we had from last round at Monza with Nuco ahead and you closing in behind. This time you did have enough laps to get the overtake done and end in victory. But with the two results now having flip-flopped, you guys are pretty much tied in the Drivers' Championship. So what do you expect for the upcoming round at Spa and the rest of the season potentially?
I think the battle is going to be me and Yuko probably for the championship, and then Whiplash can probably grab some wins, but he has really good pace, but just seems to struggle a bit in the race. But I switched up from last round now because last time I did double soft, now I did double mediums. I think that was the best strat for this round, and actually I think it was the best for the previous round as well.
Absolutely. And Artur, do you have any questions?
No, not really. You've basically answered all of mine.
Excellent. Well, sweet. Yeah, I guess that's all from us then for the interview, but excellent victory from you. Congratulations on it, and we hope to see you again next race.
Thank you. I'll see you again next race, and hopefully we can have another win there.
Absolutely. See you later, man.
Later.
GG's.
All right. I can see if maybe Nuko wants in too real quick. If I can even find him. One moment.
That's one thing.
Oh, there. We'll see if he wants to hop in here. If he so chooses, pretty much ask him the same types of things. And I'll leave the results on the screen too as we wait. I'll give it just a handful of seconds, maybe another 30 seconds or so. And if he doesn't join, then we will call it there. And we hope to see you guys next time. Remember, next Sunday we're racing here again in the SWT class where I and Artur will both be on track racing. And then the following week, it will be the top class again at Spa-Francorchamps. And I know you guys don't want to miss that one. That's an absolute classic, all-time legendary track.
Yep, Spa is always an interesting track, especially with this tier of drivers. It's going to be an interesting one.
David was an excellent question. We should have asked him that. But yeah, so it looks like we're not going to have an interview with Nuko, but I'm sure that the sentiment is similar from both drivers there. So like I said, next week, once again, make sure same place, same time, this YouTube channel on Sunday. Make sure you like and subscribe here so you don't miss any of that action. And follow us on Instagram at Grand Prestige League so you get all the updates on what we're doing here. And we will see you guys next time.
Yep, later.